Taurus, hello, welcome to your October forecast. This is Crow Indigo Intuitive Tarot. I'm going to take my bracelet off so that it doesn't make a lot of noise. And yeah, welcome. October already. Change of the seasons. We're going to do our monthly for Taurus. This is for sun, moon, or rising placements. If you're only looking at your sun sign reads, I would recommend that you make some time to look at your rising sign and your moon sign readings, the videos, because I think there is a lot of interplay, especially this time of year, to have a really good kind of comprehensive view of where you're at. Your message may be coming through on one of those others if this one isn't reading like something that pertains to you, or you could find that there are interesting elements that cross all three readings, and three or two depending on how your signs fall. I suppose there are some of you that have sun, moon, and rising all in the same sign. But for most folks, there are two or three signs there that you could be checking out and looking for similarities. You know, cards that are appearing across different readings. There may be some special significance there for you in particular. We're going to be doing 5 cards for Taurus now. To sort of get a sense of what we are ready to shed, what we are ready to gently release from our life right now. It's in the northern part of the northern hemisphere, the time of year when trees start to let their leaves fall to the ground because they understand they won't need them in the coming season, and what they need will arrive when they need it. And we are hoping with the readings this week to take a look in the first 5 cards at that shedding and how it might relate to us in our lives. Things we can let go, aspects of our personality or relationships or engagements, professionally or socially, that we can just gently let go now. We can move forward from. The second row of 5 cards in our reading today will be focused around personal growth. Where can we start to take action? How can we take action to move us along in our personal growth path? There may be a shifting of focus. There may be areas of our present existence that we need to be paying better attention to. There may be new thoughts or ideas coming in for us to follow along the path, but the general question and query for Spirit is around our new focus for personal growth now that October has arrived. And then we'll pull just 2 cards related to the question of our purpose. Is it a situation where you already are clear on what your purpose is? If that's so, then these cards are just meant to give you a little guidance, some signposts for you to follow in ways that you can get closer to fulfilling your purpose. And if you haven't any idea what your purpose might be in this world, perhaps there'll be some guide for you in those 2 cards. We'll finish off with an oracle card. And I guess I will just say before we start that this is a general reading for Taurus, and it may not speak to all of you. If you find something of value, that's excellent. If it feels like it's a good fit for you, I'd love to hear your feedback. If it doesn't really seem to fit your situation, don't try to force it, please. It's just not your reading. And there are many other excellent October readings available on YouTube to check out. Maybe one of them is yours. I do want to say in this particular read that you may find things that really resonate in the first or second row of cards, but not feel any connection to what is discussed in the last 2 cards regarding purpose. And it's okay. I do get the sense from Spirit that in this particular reading, that 3rd line, the 2 cards regarding purpose, may not speak to everyone. There may be only a few people that they're meant to speak to. And then in that case, there could still be value for you in the first 2 rows. So we're just looking for 5 cards for the first row now for Taurus. Looks like we have them. And now we will ask Spirit to give us 5 cards regarding your personal growth path and how we move forward. How does Taurus move forward this month, Spirit, and their personal growth path? 5 cards, please. We will be doing some clarifying cards this month as well. So I want to make these nice long reads for the month of October. I just need one more card for Taurus, please. One more card, Spirit, regarding personal growth path for Taurus. Thank you. All right. And 2 cards with regard to questions of purpose. 2 cards regarding the question of purpose. One more card regarding the question of purpose. That's 2. So 1 more card. All right. So let's see what we have, Taurus. We're starting out with the Emperor energy. There's here it's feeling today like support. There's structure, not support, like a sort of a foundational structure is what I'm sensing from this card. And the Emperor and the Father of Pentacles have come up right next to each other. There's a strong masculine influence in this line. Not necessarily male, right? We've said this a million times, but the tarot is not gendered. It's masculine energies, feminine energies, but these could be relating to male or female or non-binary individuals. There's just this traditional sense of masculinity, the qualities that are related to that concept, making an appearance here in this line, in the shedding, the line of question of what are we shedding and what are we letting go. So there's structure, foundational structure and control aspects of this, like the very rigid, defined process and setup of existence. So, work starts at 9 and we do laundry on Wednesday night, and that sort of regimented procedural framework within which we live our day-to-day lives to keep things running, to keep everything organized and under control and manageable. To some extent, one would say we have these structures in place to free up our mental capacity to think. If we know we always do laundry on Wednesday, we don't have to think about when you're doing laundry. It gets done on Wednesday. And there's a comfort I'm sensing in having that sort of structure for you, Taurus. The Father of Pentacles in the Wild Unknown Tarot represents the King energy. And that King of Pentacles is a great leader, very much providing a solid, secure space within which to function. I feel it's bringing sort of it brings to mind in this context for me, though, just a real strong sense of self, a sense of really solid self-confidence, and knowing what is expected of you, knowing what the structure is and fitting into it well, Taurus. That's the first couple energies. The 7 of Cups speaks to having choices and considering your options. You're in a space, or have been recently, in a space where you realized you had many possible futures. You had many options lying ahead of you, and you actually had some space there to make choices, which it feels at the moment like that maybe was sort of a surprise to you, that you had choices and options. You've been inside of this structure for quite some time. You had a hand in creating that structure. It's not that it was forced on you in any way. It developed over time, but it is a known quantity and you fit into it well, and you were able to function very well in that structure, so that you never really gave much thought to the possibility that there were other options for how to live your life, that there were other possible future paths for you that didn't involve quite that much structure, or that type of structure, or that particular way of being. It seems like that brought you joy. That knowledge that you have these options has given you a really good feeling. You have the sense here of being really content emotionally, feeling quite good. I don't know if it's one of these choices that has you feeling really content and happy and full of joy, like a wish has come true, or just knowing that you have these choices, maybe. I can't quite tell yet. The 6 here of Wands comes in next. You can see the 6 of Wands. And that's telling me that you feel like you have had a success. There's been some victory here for you. So something about a very regimented structure that I don't really get the sense you disliked necessarily. It's fading away, that structure to your days, that everything gets done when it's meant to get done, and we have a specific day for every activity. You're moving away from that. You're shedding that because you finally have woken to the sun of a new day and realized there are options for you, Taurus. This makes you happy. It's not that you were unhappy, I think. It doesn't read like you were terribly unhappy with the structure, but it's just a turning of the wheel, right? It's a time when you know you have options. That makes you happy, and it feels like success. So you're not leaving the good feeling behind. You're not being told to shed that. I don't sense that's the case. Why would Spirit want you to shed your joy? It's simply saying that you're stepping forward into October with the understanding that you have options, and that makes you happy, and that's good. There are many different ways this could read. You could have been in an institutional setting. You could have been in school, or you could have been in a training program, like an on-site training program where you were living there and learning new skills. You could have been in prison, because that is also an institution that has a very regimented, kind of organized structure to the days. You could have just been in a relationship that was very structured, or you could have been in a job for quite some time and gotten to the point where it was all quite routine. This is how it goes. The staff meeting is on Monday. We go spend an hour volunteering on Thursday afternoon. We always eat lunch at the taqueria on Friday. You got into a habit there, perhaps, if it was a job setting, and you weren't unhappy with it. Whatever this is, it didn't feel like a trap, but you are quite excited now as you're entering October with a pocket full of options for your future. It could be that you have new job offers. It could be that your program has ended, whether you were doing time or you were in university or whatever that was. Now you're out and you have choices and you get to set up a new structure for yourself in your day. If you were in a relationship and that relationship ended, or you were living in a situation and that situation has changed, your living situation has changed, your perhaps considering where you want to live now, what you want to do with your time. If you have a set of job offers in your pocket, how exciting is that? You may find that there are different pros and cons to each of them, and you're quite happy to have those choices, but it seems pretty certain that moving into October, something significant is changing for you, and you get to have a bit more say in what your days look like going forward. So that's pretty exciting, Taurus. Let's look at the second line. The second line is meant to focus around the question of personal growth and what can we do in October to help us make some progress on our path of personal growth. We have here first the Four of Swords. Let me see if I can show you. Our little lamb with the sunshine in its third eye. The Four of Swords is bringing up this notion of rest, recuperation. You're having a bit of a respite in which you get to respite, I've heard it pronounced both ways. No angry comments, please. You get to rest, and that seems like a good thing for you right now. So whatever you've gone through, even though you've ended with a handful of choices and options, and you're happy about this, it feels like success, it has taken some toll, and you're ready now to just back off a little bit and rest. We have then the Hierophant, and I have this sense there are different things that the Hierophant can represent, structure. Some people say marriage. Some folks see it as a spiritual teacher, possibly a therapist. There's some guide entering your sphere during this period of rest that will be helpful for you. That could be a spiritual teacher, it could be a therapist, it could be a friend, it could be a new connection to your own inner voice and spirituality that helps to guide you forward and helps you make your choices. We have the 10 of Wands, this heavy burden that you've been carrying, this big pile of responsibilities. It's hard for me to say without the clarifiers. You could be carrying it forward with you. You could be continuing to carry all of that responsibility, but it feels different now. After some rest, it doesn't feel quite as heavy. After some guidance from another source of perspective, it may not feel heavy at all. It may feel like a gift that you have all of these responsibilities. We'll have to look into that with the clarifiers. The High Priestess shows up next, and this really is reading, in this case to me, like getting in touch with your own intuition, with your inner knowing, really starting to find your center again as you're making your decisions about what your future should be. The last card is the Five of Pentacles reversed. Just see if I can get it to focus. Still working on that camera situation. So the Five of Pentacles, when it's reversed like this, is really about recovery. Things are improving for you. So where there may have been struggles in what you're shedding and what has been behind you, maybe not even in what we're discussing here with the change of your day-to-day structure. Perhaps something in the months past has been really draining and really taxing. You're entering this sphere now of recovery and healing, and that's wonderful. You're starting to get your center back. And I really do feel like October is going to have some very nourishing forward steps for you emotionally as you're healing, as you're resting. It may be very subtle. It may not feel like you're doing much at all in October, but I do feel like the changes for you internally will be profound. Let's look, Taurus, at the first row and get a little bit of qualifier there. Let's look at the Seven of Cups. Spirit, do we have any further guidance for Taurus on the Seven of Cups? Any further guidance for Taurus on the Seven of Cups, on the choices? Do you have any further guidance for Taurus on the choices? We have the Nine of Pentacles coming out reversed. So what is that telling us? You could be feeling an urge to spend recklessly. You may be feeling like, everything is limitless right now. So just watch out for that you could end up spending beyond your means here because you're feeling so good about having all these options. You may feel like things are limitless, including your bank account, and that could be a bit troublesome. Let's look at this joy and success. I'm going to look at the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Wands together. What has Taurus feeling absolutely joyful and successful here? What do we have? We have 2 jumping out there. Let's see. We have strength and the 7 of Cups again. So, yeah, this here was the 7 of Cups, the choices, which we looked at already. And when I asked for clarification around the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Wands, so the joy and the success, we're getting 7 of Cups. So it's definitely affirming for me that you're feeling joyful and very successful here because you have choices and because of your inner strength. So the strength card speaks to an internal strength as opposed to a physical strength. It can also speak to your bravery and compassion. Your ability to focus on you and your future is huge right now. So as you're leaving September behind, as you're moving through October, you are really feeling self-sufficient, very much in the zone here, and excited about having choices. I'm not sure if you're making a choice during October, but let's look at, you're definitely moving in that direction and knowing that you have the choices. Let's look at that Hierophant, see if there's any further guidance for Taurus with regard to the Hierophant, the spiritual teacher, the mentor, the guide, the therapist, or is this about a marriage? Jumped on marriage. The Page of Cups reversed has come out to clarify the Hierophant. The Page of Cups speaks to disappointment and to a sense of almost an insecurity to some extent. And that's not really making it all that clear to me. Perhaps you're seeking some assistance from a spiritual leader or a therapist to deal with those issues of insecurity or the disappointments that you carry. I really do feel like this 4 of Swords and the Hierophant energy together is you in a space of healing, resting, consulting professionals who can help you. And it looks like some of the issues you'll be dealing with in those conversations have to do with insecurity and disappointment. Let's see the 10 of Wands. Let's see what that's about, Taurus. Spirit. Oh, I didn't even have to ask. Jump, jump, jump. The Queen of Swords. The 10 of Wands, that burden, the great amount of responsibility on you, is clarified by the Queen of Swords. And her energy is really relentless. It's a really strong, tough, very mental, very cool air sign kind of energy. She's very sharp mentally, very cold emotionally. This is very analytical energy. This is very much someone who is dealing with things with their head, not their heart, telling it like it is, really not pulling any punches. She is fierce and she's very supportive and she's got your back for sure. But she's going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. And so how does that relate to... How is that Queen... I'm still not understanding. How does the Queen of Swords relate to the Ten of Wands? Spirit, can you give me any guidance here? How is that Queen of Swords related to the Ten of Wands? Just one more card, please. Thank you. The Magician. So this is about manifesting. This is magic energy. This is bringing into the world what you want to see. And the Magician can be about willpower as well, to some extent. The energy around the Magician really is about creating what you desire, imagining it into being. And so if the Magician and the Queen of Swords were to gather together, things would be very logical. There would be order. There would be absolute truth, even if it hurt to hear it. But the question was, how are those related to the burdens you're carrying? I think what I'm sensing here is that there's an inquiry for you during this time of healing, this quiet time of recuperation. You're going to be looking at that pile of burdens that you carry, the great load of sticks on your back, everything you've taken on responsibility for. And in a very analytical way, in a very calculating and cool, non-emotional way, you're going to look at where you've created those burdens for yourself. Where have you manifest this big pile of responsibilities that you're carrying around? In what way have you made your burden heavier and taken on things that aren't yours to carry? That's what I'm getting now. And I have that little chill in my spine, which tells me it's absolutely the correct answer. Taurus, there's something in October that is a very healing space for you. There's some energy to this month, and the work that you'll be doing, the guides that you will find, the people that will cross your path that are really meant to be crossing your path. There is no coincidence this month if you find the person that you can really relate to, because that energy is here very strongly. October is a month for you to lay down your burdens, for you to heal, for you to look at what you can let go of. What are you carrying that was never meant to be yours to carry, is what I'm seeing here. The High Priestess intuition is here to help you with that process. As you're doing your inquiry this month, you will simply know, in some cases, what the answer is. It will be very clear to you. There's recovery. We already discussed that. But I think it's going to be a big month for you. I don't think I want to clarify anything else. I think we have a clear message here for you. Let's look at the guidance with regard to your purpose and see what we have there. So we have the Four of Cups coming out first. And there's some knowledge here about options and choices as well. But you're in sort of this space of internal personal inquiry right now. So you may not be all that focused on the different options for purpose, the different possible steps forward to get you closer to fulfilling your purpose in this life. And that's okay, because there is value in this process you're going through in October that will help you get to a space where you can start to make a choice. The Mother of Cups energy is here as well. Let's see if we can focus on that card. The Mother of Cups is the Queen of Cups energy, and there's compassion there. There's comfort. This seems more like if you are trying to further your goal of fulfilling your purpose during October, the answer seems to be coming back that the options will wait. Some of your options will wait while you show yourself compassion. And I don't think that we really have much of a focus on external steps this month, Taurus, with regard to pursuing your purpose. The focus is really more on your internal healing and shedding some of the weight that you're carrying. That's an awful lot of sticks to carry around, and it seems quite certain that this month you'll be able to get rid of some of them as you make space and quiet in your life where you can do that internal inquiry as to which ones you need to carry forward or want to carry forward, because you do have options here and you do have a voice and you're allowed to make choices, which is part of why you were so excited, right? You have options and you're not giving up your options just because the month has changed. You still have options. And the option that is best suited to you as we start October is rest and recovery. And that's pretty great. I've seen the Taurus readings over the summer were really ugly. It looked like you were dealing with an awful lot. So it's nice to see this energy coming through that is going to provide you some space for healing. We're going to pull one card to finish off. It's the Magic of You Oracle from Fiona Horn. And she's the author. The illustrator is Marcela Bolivar. I want to show you her. She does beautiful work. Absolutely gorgeous cards here. And we're just going to find one card for Taurus Spirit. Some last words of guidance for the month of October. And you're getting Euphoria. Honor yourself. This month really is, Taurus, all about you making time for you. You giving yourself options. You releasing yourself from burdens. Let's look at the book for the reading on this. It's card number 9, Euphoria. Getting a little stuffed up here. Hold on. Oh, just broke my book. All right, let's see. I'm going to try to get the glare off. The lights are pretty aggressive here. Euphoria. Honor yourself. The white goddess with the feathered snake swan countenance represents the sacred fusion of air and earth, divine inspiration bonded with earthly tangibility. There is a sensual aspect in this card. It is now your duty to honor your physical self in an exalted way. Have you been abusing your body, poor eating, excesses of toxic substances, and dragging yourself through workouts you don't enjoy? This is punishing, not celebrating yourself. Don't put anything in your body that is not worthy of your goddess status. Quality over quantity is key at this time. Awaken to your sacred self. Be selective about who you allow in physical proximity to you. In matters of sex and sensuality, do not share your sacred self with someone who is not worthy of you or who does not treat you in an honorable and respectful way. The woman of Euphoria holds her hands gently and seductively over her heart as she considers the blessed magnificence of her reality. She is quiet and reflective. This is a deep inner comprehension, not bound by society's laws and other opinions. Inside, she is infinite, and her physical form is a gateway. Wow. So, it's really about honoring you this month, Taurus. Making good choices and accepting that you're a goddess. And what's wrong with that? Not a thing. I hope you have a fantastic October, Taurus. And perhaps we'll see you in the weekly readings. If not, we'll see you next month. Blessings.